In Algebra 1, Section 8-9, we're dealing with another way to solve quadratic equations. But here's the thing. This quadratic equation is pretty long, how to solve it, but it will solve any one. So let's say you try, the guess and check method won't work, square root formula won't work, factoring it into two bubbles is not working, and you can't figure it out. Well, if all else fails, you can do the quadratic formula. Okay, this is a very important formula for you to remember. You'll need it for your testing. You'll need it when you go into Algebra 2. So make sure you memorize this. But this follows this is the quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c. So the a in front of the x squared, the b in front of the x, and then the c, or whatever letter is being used. If I can locate a, b, and c, and I plug them into here, then I just solve this, and this is a plus or minus, so I do negative b plus all of this and then divided by 2a, or then negative b minus all of this and divided by 2a, which would give me my two answers to solve for these. And remember, if I end up with a negative in here, that means there's no solution, okay? Any square root of a negative number gives no solution. But this is kind of long, so if you did if you know how to do the square root formula or the bubble formula, that would be so much easier. But again, this would be better than you guess and check. Like, let's say you're doing the guess and check and it's taking forever and ever. Just plug it into here and you should be good. So let's try it. So we have x squared plus, we can't do the bubble here. We can't do the square root formula. We can't the bubble, I mean factoring with two bubbles. Because this has a 6, I'd have to do guess and check. So I could do guess and check if you want to do it at least once. You can use any method, but the quadratic formula will give you your answer. So I would use the other formulas. It's just if you are doing guess and check and it's not working, or even if you have to do guess and check, if that's taking you forever, then go ahead and try this quadratic formula. So this is our A, not the x squared, just the 6, just the 5 is our B, the negative 4 is our C. So if these were negatives, it would go with it. So then our answer would be x equals b, negative b, so negative 5. If 5 was already a negative, then it would end up a positive, because then it would mean negative 5, right? But this is a positive, so it's negative 5. So square root of b again, which is 5 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is negative 4, all over 2 times a, which is 6. Okay? So let's just solve. Our equation is negative 5. The first thing I'm going to do is solve what's on the inside right here. Okay? So this would be square root of 25. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. Then negative 24 times negative 4 is a positive, because negative cancel out. So that would be 96. So positive 96, because these negatives cancel out. And then 96 over 12. Okay? Then I would have negative 5 plus or minus 25 plus 96, which gives me, why did I multiply? 25 plus is 121. So square root of 121 over 12. This gives me x equals negative 5 plus or minus 11 over 12. So my two answers, because that plus and minus gives me two answers, is x minus 5 equals minus 5 plus 11 over 12, and x equals minus 5 minus 11 over 12. So this goes to two answers. Okay? So then x minus 5 plus 11 gives me 6 over 12, which is 1/2. That's my first answer. And then negative 5, negative 11 gives me negative 16 over 12, which reduces to, both going to 4, so negative 4 over 3. Or I can put them in decimal. So those are my two answers. So this would have been pretty tough to solve the factoring bubble way. So, and for guess and check, I mean, factoring and guess and check. Because these are fractions, so that's why this will be pretty straightforward, like do. Worst case scenario, even if you're not sure where to go, this is the way to go. But please remember, it does take some time, and mistakes are easily made. So the longer it takes to solve a problem, the more mistakes that you can make. Let's try the next one. Okay? This one is not everything equal to 0. So just like the ones we did in the other section, we have to make it equal to 0. But because I can move this one easily, but this will make it a negative, so it's up to you. I'm going to move everything here because I like this positive. So x squared, and then I'm going to subtract x from both sides, so minus x. This cancels out. I end up minus x equals 20. And then x squared, I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. Minus x minus 20 equals 0. So my a is 1, my b is negative 1, and my c is 20. So let's try it. X equals negative b, so negative 1. So that makes a positive, plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared, minus 4 times 1 times c, which is negative 20. Sorry. Squared minus 4 times negative 1 times negative 20. All over 2 times a, which is 1. So then I end up with x equals, this is positive, so 1 plus or minus. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So 1, and this makes negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 times negative 20 is, whoa, shoot, why can't I think of it? Oh, negative 80. Over 2, I end up with x equals 1 plus or minus square root of negative 79 over 2. So this negative right here, I cannot do a negative square root. So this is automatically no solution. Right? So, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you can you understand how this works. Pretty straightforward. Just identify, put it in. Just make sure not to make mistakes. So be very careful. And if you're ever not sure, you can always just plug it in. So try page 587, numbers 3 and 5. 587, numbers 3 and 5. I will see you in class.